I used to work for a legal brothel in Queensland. The hiring process is wild. So for a really long time, it was completely illegal for these businesses to advertise that they would like more working girls. So what often happened is they would put up a job advert for something like a receptionist. And so you'd apply to be a receptionist. And halfway through that interview, they'd be like, oh, you'd make a lot more money as a working girl. I think you'd be really good for it. And then you'd realize that that receptionist job was never actually an option. But most of the time, all they'd have on their website was, if you would like to work for us, please email this email. For the unlicensed shops, like more your massage parlors that did extras, you'd basically just walk in and ask for a job, and hopefully if they trusted you, they would let you know, like, yeah, we do the extras here. But sometimes if you just didn't give off the right vibe, they'd just be like, oh no, I don't know what you're talking about. So in New South Wales, though, it was legal to advertise for working girls. They really wouldn't put out like job listings on like Seek.com or Indeed or anything like that. It'd mostly just be on their own website. So if you were looking for a job, you just look up establishments in your area. But they would make wild claims. A lot of these places would be saying every lady would be making like 5 to 10 grand a week, which no, it does not happen in establishments in Australia regularly. I've never heard of anyone making that much in a week in an establishment. They were also allowed to offer incentives. So like a lot of people would fly in and out of the state. So they'd work in a different state than they live. So no one around them would find out what they were doing. So if you were flying in and agreed to work a certain number of shifts, the establishment would arrange and pay for your transportation between the airport and the establishment. And often they'd put you up in a hotel room for a night or let you stay at the establishment themselves. It was clean accommodation, but it certainly wasn't comfortable. Usually there were like 2 girls to a room and you didn't know who they were. So you're a bit worried about your stuff being taken. A lot of the times you just ended up getting a room in the establishment. So like people were talking and doing other things that you could hear through the walls. And a lot of them just weren't set up for like overnight stays. So I stayed at one, and they don't have blankets because you don't put blankets on the bed because you're not going to need them for what you're doing, right, during a booking. So you'd have to bring in your own blankets if you wanted to stay nice and warm and cozy.